flashes in the hand of Exist. They're all heading over towards the A portion of the map. This might just be a little smoke between Fork and Red and Flash as they bust out Squeaky Door. Apex is the only man on the site to deal with this attack. Playing behind the forklift. He's going to need to go huge. Smoke comes in. Flash to follow.
So retake A, but it's non-traditional. Apex in this site has done very well. It's non-traditional in the fact that they pushed all the way through B. It's going to be a fast flank, and NIP has nowhere to go because Apex has stopped them in their tracks. Get Right might find a kill, but he gets greeted immediately by the flank, and Kenny shuts it all down. That's quite a good pistol round, I have to say. I like that Apex was able to hold them off, but they were so quick running out through B.
I don't know what he said, but it was in French. This is the thing they do nowadays, right? When the smokes come in, or you know they're coming in, you just stand there pre-firing an area, especially like Squeaky Door, where the choke point is so small. Busts off a couple shots, picks up 2 headshots, finishes it with a 3rd, and basically wins the round for his team. Forced by coming out now for NIP. They want to stay competitive early, heading all 5 members back over towards that A side of the map. Forrest jumping up, posturing a little bit, but it looks like he's going to quickly join the squad, and a similar looking strategy to be in play here is Shocked, ready to push Squeaky. Opens her up, gets taken down by Rez with that Deagle, and 4-on-5 situation early for NIP.
Pulls Kenny out of middle to help the second rifle inside of A. That being body. Misses a number of shots. The Molotov as well. He didn't have anywhere to hide. Kenny does. It's inside of the smoke, but inside of the smoke. And Forrest is easily able to find him in turn, bomb planted openly so that they can cover it off from A main. A main, which is not yet under threat because Apex and MBK are toward mid and the truck.
Save should be the call right now. They do have an M4 in the hands of Apex. There's no point going for it. No point giving that away, but they will. Apex getting taken down from the quad boost, and that's another M4 that might go in the hands of NIP, but Forrest finishing off with a Deagle. Very concise round there. All off the back of Shocks, pushing Squeaky Door with that MP9, going down to Rez, and then from there, the dominoes fell for NIP, picking up the second round. The Force by paying off for them here in the second map. Now they're in control as we are going to see some pistol upgrades come out from G2. Looks like Body's bought down to nothing. Apex is bought down to $50. Shocks has held on to 2,500. Kenny's bought up quite a lot as well. So it did turn into a late-ish Force buy. Probably going to see 2 ecos coming out of them. And they're not doing anything too exciting. They've just spread out across the map on the CT side, hoping they can find some picks with those Deagles. 3 Deagles to be counted. And NIP already starting off with this slow, defaulty style, waiting out any aggression. Seeing if they can catch any pushes from G2. This is where it gets scary though, you know? When you play like this, when you're not going into an execute, when you're not going into a plan at the start of the round, all it takes is 1 Deagle headshot, like we saw last round, to make things spiral out of control. Mid-round calls come in, people get flustered, bad decisions are made, but right now NIP, they're set on taking middle, and they have done so.
They've done so, with the vent already popped. And Forrest pushing toward white box. Last round was more encouraging than I would say almost any of the rounds they had on Inferno. So that continues on, and we have a game. Forrest will fall off of mid. They're going to give it back up after taking it and head over toward A main. No rotations pulled from that side of the map. In fact, Apex is heading the other direction. He's heading back toward it. So they're going to fortify it with a 3rd member. No boost behind Red. It's available to them, but they've already got the information. Body at the slide. Doesn't have anywhere to go except back in front of Kenny, which limits his position. What from Kenny? 2 Deagles, but down immediately. It brings Apex back in. We're not done yet. Forrest is now stuck in the middle. They know exactly where he is, and backing up highway, he's going to be baited in shortly, but the smoke saves him. He doesn't realize it's there, and MBK gets the shot with the Deagle. What quick play from Kenny.
That wasn't even a full investment from G2 there. I wouldn't call that a force buy. That was just a bit of a pistol upgrade across the board, and whew, Kenny just stepping out, grabbing 2. Getting a lot of work done. Apex coming in with the CZ. That weapon this event has looked on point once we've seen these other pistol nerfs coming into play. People are becoming the CZ masters once more. And a pause coming in from NIP. This is probably just to stop the early tilt. You know, you don't want to get too carried away. And they look like they want to force buy back. Draken straight onto that AK. CZs once more. Geralt has how much in the bank account? He's not dealing with a lot. 1750.
This is when things get desperate, though, because if they start forcing and their economy spirals really early, G2 could run away with it, which is the opposite of what NIP needed and hoped for after winning the eco round. They wanted to do the same in return. They wanted to shut G2 down and get the momentum, because they're going to need it. They're going to have to play off of momentum and off the crowd as well and get things, I think, ahead. I think they're Nip's more comfortable when they have control of the economy. That's clear.
This is going to be a big explosion, Matt. This is going to be a big explosion. I'm going to expect that B main smoke to come up, and then they'll probably pop flash through. They have a Molotov and exist. That might just get used towards the bomb site or checkers, but the attack will be on. And this is a good setup from G2. Both players playing in the bomb site. As I say that, Apex pushing close behind the smoke. Ready to mop up some frags. An MPK nade in hand. This could do some damage.
It's timed right. It's a little deep. Oh, it still hits Forrest to good effect, but Apex sprays them down. They're going to walk continuously through the smoke. Draken's trying to find an angle, but he just walks in and still finds Apex. Shox rotates over, and 3-1.
There's lots of danger with doing that, Matt, playing 2 people in the bomb site straight away, because if NIP had enough, or if they'd opted for utility over that AK for, say, maybe they went for P250s instead of CZs, and then they Molotov the hell out of that bomb site, it's going to absolutely cripple that defense. So Apex playing close to the smoke was a good adjustment. I like that. He knew that something like that might be coming in once that B main smoke went down, and able to pick up a lot of frags with the help of MBK there. And right now, the economy is in control of G2, and we're seeing just a couple of pistols, a couple of P250s coming out on the side of NIP as they look to get mopped up here.
So we hit 3-1, having won the pistol and losing the eco. We're basically reset to where we would be heading into round 5. Typically. Apex pushing again, checking useless. Finds Forrest as they sit beside each other in tandem, and NIP goes back to try and solve that riddle. They can't. And taken out, but it's damage done from MBK to the backside of Apex, and GetRight's actually picked up 2 headshots and now an AK-47 to go along with it.
Cracked B open as well here. If he wants to take that map territory, he can. There is a window of opportunity here, but gonna regroup with Rez. They can probably get that rifle for him as well. Kenny backing off of mid, doesn't want to give away another kill. But Body has a lot of information here. If he can get in the corner, he can lock down A main. That means A is not open for business.
It's a decent push from Body because they had to spread out the defense. They had to get information somewhere in doing so as well. Yes, they have the man advantage. With time and so much map space lost, he now gives them a chance. Hence why Kenny's rotated back over towards Shox as well. But it's out toward middle they choose to approach. And also that does mean without Shox inside of the vents, they're both in B. If they wrap to A, that's a long rotation for both players, and Body's playing outside of the site. That's the harder part to read. They can get the bomb down, but Body could quickly be on the case. Back through A main.
10 seconds, Matt. This is down to the wire right now. Body's pushing in the wrong direction. No one's going to be close to A.
Rez has to go now. Rez has to run. He's going to have to plant this immediately behind Red Crate. I don't think oh, he just got there.
Great plan, great round so far, but now they know it's A. GetRight in a forward position. He's going to have 2 CTs coming his way. As I say that, they push through Z. They want to go the highway direction. Rez thinks the flank is possible.
Kenny reads it very well. They know the door was open, so they look for that direction. GetRight on the AK picked up, finds the shot immediately toward Body, and Shox is red as well. NIP respond, all due to a double push and 2 kills found from GetRight at useless.
2 on 5. What's happening there? That is a big blunder from G2. That push coming in. The aggression was fine, but the fact that they're not able to convert, the fact that they let this spiral in this direction, maybe miscommunication. Body, when he went for that push, he didn't need to. They already had 2 players in B, right? What's he pushing for? You know at that point in time, if it's not going to be B, you have 2 guys in the site, you have to expect it to be A. You should have been leaning back towards Squeaky Door, back towards the A bomb site. If you think they're saving, who cares? You want to win the round, let's get them on the board. Don't worry so much about taking those guns away. They were taking an eco anyway.
And think about the plant in that round, because they didn't even clear the A site. That was literally a hold down the bomb and hope that no one's going to kill me while I'm doing so. Rez ran in last second. If Body had happened to be at quad, that would have been it. Round would have been over on that alone.
I'm confused, to say the least. But right now, NIP have a chance to get back in control of this half. They're definitely in control of the economy, but we saw how that went for them last time as exchanging his ecos.
Reload. Oh, I was going to say, if Rez holds down and depletes too much ammo and has to go for the reload, they would wait and time that through the door, but he saves enough to kill them both when they do.
I want to say good start, but so far this half we've seen a lot of back and forth, especially with number disadvantages and pistols. So anything's possible right now for G2, especially with this man with the deagle in hand. Molotov comes out, forces him out of position. GetRight quickly swings out, taking 2. He's on fire early. An Apex 1-on-5 situation, sees that in hand. Just has to look for an exit or just a consolation frag, I suppose.
Rez anchoring. I think he spotted Apex. Apex is looking straight at the ground, so his head won't show up. As he gets closer, tries to surprise with a peek. GetRight gets the kill instead. 3-3, NIP, good response. Keeping all 5 players alive as well will start to give them money. Money is a factor. Body has an op. He's dropped it. He's thrown it away. And that will go in the hands of Kenny. So not for Kenny on Cash. Chance to be fast and aggressive. Full utility, obviously, for NIP. Decent utility in the fact that they've got smokes on all 5 players on G2. However, they only have the 1 kit. That's on Shox. Kenny mid, naturally, with the only AWP. Double peek from Draken. That's a risk, but he gets away with it.
Aggression is going to be key here because we don't have Molotovs on Shox. We don't have Molotovs on Body. The smokes are only going to last so long, but it looks like they're just opting for that sight boost, which Rez might spam for. It's become commonplace nowadays. They're out doing a little bit further back. That could be a way to avoid it, but that's a duel that might come in any minute. Shox looks to be the master of the A site for G2. This is the problem right now, Matt. If you're just going to play CS like this and deplete your utility, which G2 are doing a fantastic job holding on to so early, it comes down to your players hitting individual shots, making sure they get those multi-kills on the bomb site, because on a map like this, sure, you can retake. It's definitely possible on a map like Cache, but you can just get locked out so early if you don't make any trades, and right now it looks like...
Get Right gets to A main, by the way, with the slide boost. If he pushes them down 2 players at door, they can easily spray in toward the default position and potentially catch off either Body or Shox. But Get Right has to get that information first. They know the door's open. Good shot from Apex, excuse me, but there it is. They walk out. Get Right finds it. Rez is ready for it. Up highway instead, so they had all 3 approaches to the site covered. Kenny on the AWP found by Forrest as well. Shots are being hit by NIP.
I'm perplexed. There was 38 seconds left on the clock, and there was still at least 3 smokes across the G2 side that could have been deployed in A main, that could have been used anywhere on the map to stop the push. Body was at the bottom of the boost, so sure, he's not throwing it. Shox at the top, he had one in hand. MBK still has his. So the fact that they held onto their utility for that long, I was giving them props for that, but they never used it. You did a great job staying heads up, ready to take the duel, didn't use your utility when you had the perfect timing. Imagine if you dropped that at 38 seconds left. Sure, then the pressure is on. They have to either flash push through a smoke. You have the advantage. They will give themselves, what, maybe 15-ish seconds to make that attack. But G2 dropped the ball there. MBK gonna hold on to this Famas. Or Famas. Clarion.
I knew you were gonna say it.
Or maybe just take Eco, one of which I'll be happy with.
Well, it seems it'll be the latter.
They're taking the Eco. P250 for Apex. USPs for Shox, Body, and Kenny, so hard to see a lot happening this round. Draken, early tag there onto Kenny. He loves this pick. We've seen him go for this time and time again, getting kills through smokes. It's great when you have an explosive AWP who's not afraid to take the risky duels.
Very risky, but it's readable. Get Right, considering even the skylight boost, which we don't see as often. Nice reaction as Apex pushes back in. Forrest able to hold Body at A main as well, and watch as Shox re-enters. Forrest is ready for that. Thank you, Body, for the early damage to your teammate. Certainly helps his cause. The gun of MBK is still up with full utility and armor, so I imagine if they can, they'll try and preserve that.
He doesn't need to hold on to it. He has 2,700 in the bank. Like, it would be great. It's mainly the armor, which he'd want more so than the Famas. I'd be wanting to go in the next round with an M4. He's not going to upgrade away from that. But, you know, it's not the end of the world if he does go down. If anything, even if he gets a couple of kills, it's not going to hamper the economy of NIP too much. Draken's sitting on 9,300, so sitting pretty early on. Forrest has a bit of bank built up, can get a jet ski.
Not bad.
What's a jet ski go for nowadays?
Well, I mean, newer ones are like 15 CAD, probably same in AUD.
Okay, yeah.
But you can buy like an old, like a Bombardier 99 or like the Millennium Edition 2-stroke. You can probably get one for like 1,500.
So secondhand.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna have to buy the trailer.
Yeah, they burn oil though. You got to mix a lot. Yeah, trailers can be expensive, and boat trailers rot really quickly if you're not careful about preserving the axles. There you go. The more you know. No one cared about that except for you. But Draken takes down MBK. You mentioned as well that Draken has a lot of money. That's important because AWP player, obviously you want him to have the money.
Yeah. Well, it's easy like to you know, just have someone else farm that cash, drop him the AWP, like we saw with Shox with the MP9 doing on Inferno. He was able to build up a lot of bank and get the AWP in the hand of Kenny more often than not. Now he's on, he's almost on 1,300, so has a lot of money right now. We've got at least a couple of buys coming out here from NIP. It's going to be difficult for them to get broken. And now we are seeing G2 going into a gun round. Much better equipped this time. We do have Molotovs up on more players. Kenny with that AWP. I want to see some early aggression coming out from Kenny. Let's use him as the spearhead. Let's find ourselves an opening as he will be making his way towards A. Looks like he wants to do just that. Draken with the aggressive mid pick again. He's actually going to push through it. This guy is out of control, jumping out. He's at the vent. Shock's going to pick up a molly kill meanwhile, but Shox is not going to expect Draken to be here. That's the equalizer they needed.
That's perfect. You called it. Shox had no idea Draken was there, walked directly into it. Smoke's still down in front of Exist, but they've got Draken there to watch middle, so they know that's open. They can start to approach other facets of the map. Get Right, in fact, though, is going to push. Speaking of push, Kenny's going to do the same with the AWP, pre-scoped and ready. If they walk back out of the big garage toward A main, they're going to be greeted rather hastily from Kenny.
Ooh,
that's body.
He would have been spotted.
Yep, he is spotted now. He jumped up at the slide, the head showed, and yeah, the crosshair placement's still there because he's hoping he jumps again for information.
Here's the problem right now for G2. Kenny doesn't see anything how far he's pushed up Squeaky, so he assumes they might be posturing for B, but in reality, they're all just out middle. Someone from B either needs to cheat their way back over towards Z connector or go aggressive to get some information because Body is about to feel the wrath of this NIP squad making their way up highway. Get Right leading the charge. Lurker now entry fragger.
Waiting in quad. Get Right knows he was in the site, so you'd expect him to look this direction and check it. He looks behind red box first. That is isolated. All possibilities and all options. Good tag by Get Right. Doesn't get the kill, but knows Body's there, so his teammates can immediately turn their attention in that direction, and the site is open, still with a man advantage. If Body got 2 in that situation, they might have had a problem. They nearly have a problem walking back toward Kenny. But in some ways, knowing it's just the door, it's good to know where the AWP is. They've let him walk out, but Exist still keeps tabs. And he'll close his bill. It goes 6-3 for NIP.
You could hear a pin drop in some of those quiet moments there, Matt.
It's tense.
Here's just a quick little point. G2 are a team who we praise, for being brawlers, for being able to play Counter-Strike, just aim-based, heads-up, as I like to call it. The fact of the matter is, this is one of the maps that you want to have those kind of players because you're just holding your spots on the map and going for duels. But the information that G2 are being able to gather, it's at the wrong time. It's actually making them make missed plays, which is a huge problem in these scenarios. They're getting isolated. Sure, we saw a kill there from Body onto Get Right, but nothing too exciting, nothing that's looking dangerous. As Shox and MBK going to open up with the Deagles. As I say that, turning up the excitement level to 11.
Spinal Tap reference. I'm with you. Forrest, meanwhile, though, pushing back through, does start to divide. Especially with this position deep inside a connector, the defensive G2 finds the kill as well. Body does still menace ever so slightly with armor and an AK-47. And BK is a factor as well because they are starting back toward B. Trade from Kenny as Forrest does get Body. Okay, yes, 1 AK down. Kenny's picked up another. It doesn't mean both are in the hands, but there's another one available on rotation should Shox head that direction, and he should because MBK will make the call that they are on toward B, but can't hit the shots on Draken. It was a good position, but just didn't have the accuracy to go along with it as Kenny misses a shot on the cross. Shox should grab the AK right now. There it is. But no armor to go with them. It might be a save call if they can't find a kill quite quickly. I mean, they should basically in the next 10 seconds.
They should go for this. They have enough money in the bank to buy next round anyway. This is a round that they could win. There's still enough time on the clock to get this, but with Shox walking, it doesn't really lead me to believe they want it.
Kenny's still going to evaluate. Makes some noise. Draws the attention as Shox goes on the high ground. Down goes Kenny. You mentioned they have the money. That's fine. But Shox needs to make an educated decision right now if he still fancies his chances. Maybe just try to take players down with the bomb because there's really no escape for Drake, and unless he does that, Shox falls, bomb's not going to go off, time will expire, and switch into the next round with a lead now of 7-3 for NIP.
Yeah, really good recovery there by NIP, losing 2 players early, able to, steady the boat, get back into that round and then recover and pick it up. They need that. They didn't, this could have been a half that throws out of control if they were to lose that one. They still have a lot of money in the bank, so not too many issues there. But right now, G2, they're grasping at straws. What is their attack? Now, the normal adjustment would be to do something aggressive. The fact of the matter is, if they don't have a predetermined aggressive move to go off here, I don't want to see them going one man at a time, pop flashes. I want to see a little bit more to it. I need something which is actually a big move, something which is going to get you map control and maintain it. If it's just individual plays, that's not where I see G2 having too much success because the default is what I'd be expecting from NIP right now. 2 orbs from the G2 squad, MBK picking up the secondary. Can he reap any rewards with it?
Flames go to the top of the boost. They haven't been using the boost early. As you mentioned, Draken just likes to go straight up brawl style with the AWP. He's gone boost, I think, once. Get Right went over after he found a kill at the main entrance itself. So Flames are fine, but it won't do much. Speaking of Draken, a fast pick again. Door opened by his teammate Rez. The Epsilon duo walks in and finds the kill as Kenny S With his AWP in the corner of Ame, missing a shot, that's going to be a problem. He knows the door's occupied. Thankfully, Apex has rotated in to guard the door, because if they were able to bust in, no one else in the site, Kenny's a sitting duck in the corner.
Look, I'm perplexed at how G2 are looking so lackluster here, getting caught out in that kind of scenario. Why does Body need to over-rotate like that? They had A main control. There wasn't really any pressure anywhere else on the map, so you don't need to be moving around that much. And use your utility. You know Rez has been going squeaky. He's been opening it very early every time. I know you weren't expecting Draken with the AWP, but he did pop out. And now mid control is coming into play. This is just perfect color by number CS from NIP. Get a pick, get mid control, force the CTs to use utility, push them around the map, and then execute on a bomb site with the information in hand.
Just still trying to find out what's going on in middle. Discouraged from the peak until the flash comes in. Good first kill. No, I was going to say there's no way he gets time to reset with 3 players. But they do get time to rotate. NBK and Apex do so swiftly. Draken is able to at least recover the bomb, and it's back to the youngsters to try and open up the B site against NBK with the secondary op. Missed shot. The shoulder bait, they've actually crossed on it. He's realized it late, flashed off, can still go for a peek fast, and a fast flick. He does exactly that to Rez. Draken will try to claw back space, but with no time, he's just going to save the AWP instead. Better call. He's got to still be careful, though, because... Okay, never mind. Excuse me. I thought Kenny was a lot closer.
He probably could have risked going for that pick.
Oh, Kenny!
Wow.
He took the first shot. I didn't think he'd get another in. It's through the door after the time.
Yeah, not so much of a big deal, because the money situation for NIP is looking... Can't hear myself.
There we go.
I'm back. All right, that scared me.
I thought I broke something.
Yeah, jeez. I'm new at this. Don't throw me on the bus like that.
That is sick, to be fair.
Yeah, that's a nice shot there by Kenny. This is the fact that they turned that round on its head, being down a man, shows the individual prowess of G2 really stepping up there. That wasn't anything that NIP really did wrong. That was just G2 hitting some good frags, and then NBK staying alive on that B side, delaying enough time, and then hitting that lovely little flick there was enough to secure the round. Body only having 1 kill. He needs to find his groove. Sometimes when you're not feeling it, it's hard to hit the timings. It's hard to find yourself in the right place at the right time. But he needs to get going for this team, because they're behind the 8 ball right now.
Apex is the one that leads. Not surprising. He is very good on this map.
I'd love to see
territory.
A quick adjustment here, Matt, because you're going up against 2 AWPs. So if you do like a relatively fast execute against 2 AWPs, you can normally catch them off guard. And it looks like we're going to be seeing a very quick A attack coming in. 4 players making their way through Squeaky Door. Kenny S is playing retake. So this could work in the favor of NIP. They're going to get the bomb site without any resistance at all and have a lot of utility left to hold them back. But I say no resistance. Apex opening up again. 2 kills from Highway to Squeaky Door. And now the A bomb site is open.
What a shot from Forest. Not only have the A side open, being down 2 men, but to push back the player at Highway, get the kill, and secure space. As Forrest will go in behind the forklift. It's Shocks that serves to spoil. Let's get right plants for the open and the intention of using A main. Shocks will use it to his advantage first. Better as he pops out and finds Draken as well. They're closing the gap. It's 7-4 and about to be a 5th. Forrest definitely about to be a 5th, because the flames at his feet. He'll smoke himself off, but that only gives away his position, and they fire into it with multiple bullets and find him.
I like the adjustment. They're trying to avoid the AWP. You know, they know that they play 1 AWP at each site and maybe more rifles around that middle section of the map. So the adjustment was nice. Apex just finding kills through smoke again. This guy, he just lines it up, knocks him down. Love to see it. Someone's yelling for NIP. Couldn't have heard that. I heard that one.
I did. Almost sounded like a dying animal, but it was passionate. Smoke out to mid-garage. Shocks will immediately try and take advantage of it, get closer. They're boosting onto red crate, so if Shocks gets too careless and walks in, he could be found by Exist. This is why this boost does exist.
This is what I talked about just before the game, Matt. You know, being able to put 1 AWP at each side, having a lot of mid presence, 1 in the vent, 1 at white box, 1, you know, towards the pipe or under the boost. That's such a strong mid hold, right? They've gone for that early, just in case of any NIP aggression. That's not to be. And the default just comes in. So what you want to try and do in this scenario is just identify where the AWPs are. You want to call out any utility that the CTs are using, and then from there, make a calculated decision on what the best execute could be. It looks like they want to take mid again, as Brady's going to boost up 2 of the NIP players. Draken up there with the AWP. He's going to see what he can find.
Shocks inside of the vents. You mentioned they would try and use them to their advantage at some point in time. Good spray through. No Molotov, even if they're considering, but I guess the bullets are enough to scare Shocks away. After The initial trade, Draken flashed off, doesn't jump all the way off the boost, which is crucial. He can stay up there. They don't need to commit to putting him back in place. Molotov pushed Rez back at the very least. Yeah, right, brings bomb ever closer toward A. 30 seconds, this will be the target. Shocks, good find not to exist.
They're feeling it now, Matt, as the frags are just falling in the way of G2. Draken and Rez with a lot of work to do. Molotov going to come in. Going to push Kenny out of position, but Body's there. Takes down Rez, and now Draken 1-on-4 situation, AWP in hand.
Nip needs a bomb plant as well. Draken's going to try for it, get closer, 11 seconds. Surely he can't find one. Does nearly get a shot to Shocks, but bomb goes down, and no plant, 7-6. Third round loss bonus. Puts them on the, oh, I guess Forrest has enough if he wants to drop over the AWP, so does Exist. I was going to say they're on the threshold for AKs only, but if they drop it around and shuffle the guns, they can still make this work. Timeout called, and I imagine a lot of it is to discuss exactly that situation.
This round right here will be the difference between an 8-7 half in favor of NIP, or they could even get up to a 9-6 if they're able to convert this one. The money on the boys from G2 not looking too fantastic. Shocks only has 1,600, 2,900 on Apex, 1,700 on Body. But,
I'm gonna grab what you're saying. Actually, it's the difference between a potential 9-6 for NIP or an 8-7. I'm gonna say for G2.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, because if they lose this, the money's gone. I knew that's what you meant. I just thought
I didn't articulate it very well.
Yeah, I'd iron it out for everyone at home.
Speaking of ironing, shout out to Lothar.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna jump in on that one.
He'll be watching.
Well, back underway. Vuvuzelas?
I don't know, but I don't know if we can't hear them because we're in the booth or if the crowd's just quiet because it's the morning.
I think there's a frequency cut, so we don't hear them until they break a decibel level.
Oh, okay. Well, then they need to get a little bit louder.
Draken, AWP. Go to the door again. Another opening situation. Open to inward. Oh, that's the clever tactic. I remember Shroud doing that on his stream once. You put your back to the door, and the next player in line opens it inward, which is what they've done. That now gives Draken the angle into the site. That's clever with an AWP in that position.
Looks like it's going to be a double pump onto the A site here. They're just throwing their early utility. They still have 2 smokes left to throw that forklift smoke again, but Draken might find Apex here.
Oh, it nearly gets the chance. I really wanted it just to see that clever play work. Watch for the jump over red box. Apex goes for the reload. Get right holds position. He's got to hold position a little longer because they're not finding the kills necessary or required, and it goes 7-7, which means money is now in tatters for NIP.
Now this is where we will see most likely the 8-7 come in for G2. Great recovery from them. Started with the pistol round, then there was a bit of a struggle for economy, which NIP actually surprisingly won, and went on to a bit of a stretch there, getting up to a 7-3 lead, I believe it was. And now G2 fighting back. They're biting back, and off the back of these double orbs, MBK having to pick it up again and actually getting a little bit of work done with it. I think Apex has been the hero for me so far this map. A couple of multi-kills in crucial rounds, steering the ship in the favor of G2.
They're going to go through the smoke just before the second one blooms. They get in without losing anyone, but with substantial damage. Heavy wounds inflicted. Not since the pistol have they gone for the boost behind quad. Actually, I should say the eco, not even the pistol. It's the round which G2 stole back afterward. Forrest finding Kenny. Brings him down a man. Good start considering the bomb's down and they don't have weapons. They've got to hold off their positions. They were lucky to find an open A site. This gives them a chance without the weapons, and so too does another trade back from Forrest as they continue to hold the advantage. Body, though, however, burns Draken. Double stack toward quad, no boost. They're going to try and play it with peeks and trades with this element of surprise, which Rez now has lost, and NBK up close with the AWP. Achieves success to make it the 8-7, just barely on the defuse.
Yeah, you got to give props there to the boys from G2 being able to turn that around. They did start with a rocky road, but to get back in it, win the half 8-7, have to be happy with that one. NIP looking good. They made some good mid-round decisions. There was maybe that one pivotal round where they actually couldn't convert over towards that B bomb site that let G2 back in it to some degree. But you know, good picks by Draken throughout that half. Get right looking on point with the rifles. Just need a little bit more from the squad now as we flip over to the CT side. It's hard to talk about adjustments they need, Matt, because it's just, we obviously haven't seen them start on the CT side yet.
Yeah, that's true. It's absolutely true because they've lost both knives.
Yeah, you hate to see that. Some teams just have this terrible luck with knife rounds, can just never convert them. We had some fun strats back in the day with the knives. We did super boosts and stuff.
Super boosts?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
You know, like when you run with someone on your head and they get that bit of acceleration.
You lunge at them with a knife?
Yeah, we did it on Inferno. We tried to launch over their heads and land behind them. Didn't work, just died midair. But it was fun. All right, smoke in the kit for Get Right. That seems to be the standard go-to for him on the pistol rounds. Shocks with a P250 smoke and flash as well. This is very similar to Inferno.
To mention it as well, it was all momentum for NIP. They won 6 rounds in a row in the first half, but the last 5 have all gone to G2, and NIP had a good start on the T side, which given them a fantastic chance going over to CT, but problems will ensue if they can't convert early, I have a feeling, because, as you mentioned, G2, the frags were falling into place, and they nearly do again. Get right down to 2 HP, Draken on 15, but the first kill still goes the way of Exist. No bomb plant yet either, as Get Right chimes in to find Shocks. G2 is suddenly struggling. They will manage to get the bomb down eventually. NBK will not have position from A main to see it, however, because they had to go for the safe plant default, and they're going to wrap for the flank. They'll wait at the truck because Get Right cannot afford yet to be the martyr. He may elect to do so eventually, but not without teammates to bait out back and get information. NBK, good snap back around as he turns, tries to find another, but they're just overwhelmed and overrun. It's down to just body in the backside of the site behind Quad, and it's NIP that get the pistol.
That round was so promising to start for G2. NBK up on the boost, finding both mid players. I think it was Get Right and Drake, and gushing both of them, putting them down to sub 15 HP super early, and then being able to convert that one back in their favor was Exist opening up, Get Right with another one, and then from there the retake was on. 3-on-5 situation. Easy as that. And NIP with the pistol round. A chance to get in a commanding position here. I would love to see an eco coming out from G2. Give us the first gun round on that third of the half. Oh, they went for a timeout. Shocks misspelt it. So we're we're going live with the round anyway. NBK's picked up a Deagle, flash on Shocks with the Glock, P250 on Apex and Kenny. So a little pounce attack probably coming in here at some point. Bomb being left at T-spawn, one of my favorite things in all the Counter-Strike. Apex will pick it up, and they are heading towards A. This is risky, Matt. I don't like seeing someone play as forward as Draken without any form of support. I know we have Exist at the truck looking over his shoulder, so to speak, but you can get isolated in a position like that by the pistols. That's the range that the P250 players love to fight at.
Well, we'll see if love and affection turns into love and war with the pistols, if they can break into the sites. Draken, door open, does fire quickly, quite frequently with the UMP. He's cautious of it because he knows the situation. If they walk in from A main as he's firing his ammunition away, he'll have problems. So instead, backs to Quad, right call. He's able to pick up not only 1, but 2, and potentially a 3rd kill, which has the bomb. And the round as well, as he gets a pistol kill. That's all good news for Draken, because we know he wants the op early and often.
Now the question mark is, do we see him upgrading to that AWP? He must know a buy's coming. They didn't have any head armor then. They know that. Does he just opt to stay with the UMP? And it looks like he will. And the buy has come through from G2. 2 smokes, a couple of flashbangs. Not a lot to work with, so we're going to need some heads-up Counter-Strike here. Some duels going in their favor. Retake A coming in earlier. It looks like they wanted to go for that mid-boost, but the Molotov will force them away. Now they are going for it once more now that it has been extinguished or dissipated.
Angle for Get Right if they work toward the vents. Body would have to hit a one-hit wonder. As he pops up over, and Get Right's aware of it, knows the angle. Quick check to make sure that he's not peeking out in front of the hut instead. Shocks has bomb inside middle, and he's quite deep inside of mid as well. He's going to drop it behind the white box, but if Get Right wins even one of these duels, it becomes a problem for them. More so because they flash Draken back in for the vents. He gets taken down, but that's information for Get Right, and the player he was waiting to babysit is gone, so he can wide peek and find 2, leaving the bomb exactly where it lie. And now a 3 versus 2 as NBK is going to give up the highway position and go for the flank. He's going to go all the way around. Do they have the information and awareness? They're going to give the consideration. Rez will watch as Get Right continues to peek out in mid. And it's all onto NBK. Low HP onto both Forrest and Get Right are bleeding out. But a smoke down, and they shots fired. They know exactly what he's up to. And they get close, they peek, and they take him down quickly. 10-8.
Great round there from Get Right. The fact he can pick out Get 1, and then the second on Shocks, who is ready and waiting for him. Stepping out for that frag is huge, and then to finish off with the final kill, bleeding out like that. Great round.
Slightly tilted on our replay. Or is that just me?
It's probably just us.
Okay. It looked a little sideways, but it was a good play from Draken, and again, like you say, GetRight was able to take the peaks as soon as the player advance went down. He'll go back to mid as well. Fancies his chances. Molotov on the boost. Back to the pistols for G2. Boost would have been okay, considering they have 2 Deagles, but instead they'll group and play the numbers game. The numbers game flashed off already by Draken. And he's got the number 9, the MP. The Shock's gun, and Shock's has a knife. Okay, I thought he was actually going to push through the smoke when we jumped over. I was like, is he really thinking about that?
He wants to get this round over and done with, obviously. Draken with their main control makes things even more difficult for G2. Only pistols in hand. This one, look, I've said it time and time again, and every time I do, the round seems to spiral out of control. But GetRight fighting for the white box. Going to find 1, 2, 3 as they line up. Shock pushing out Squeaky. No bomb. No chance. Nade comes in. 30 HP, easy as that. Now we're going to see the AWP coming out from Draken. He will be upgrading that MP9. I'll bet my house on it.
You have a house?
No. Oh, I have a Lego house.
All right, I'll take that as a bet. I'll take that as a wager. I would have lost because he does bring out the AWP immediately.
And on the other side, Kenny's got his, so maybe we'll see that battle.
Glass cannon, however, for Kenny.
It's a glass Lego house. Alrighty. Kenny heading towards the B side. Holding middle with a rifle for GetRight. You know, he's basically just, like you said the other round, babysitting that part of the map. His job is just to posture for as long as possible and give away information. But Kenny finding Drake and pushing B. That's an opening for G2 early in this gun round.
Draken's op continues to be aggressive. This time it's punished. Good read from Kenny to sit back. Smoke deep. Rez, does he just want to grab the AWP and bring it back into the fold? Or is he trying to contemplate pushing G2 back and giving them a second guess?
I'd love to see him push. Get stuck in, mate.
He won't. He'll fall back. They will boost inside of A. Do so silently. Smoke down to protect them, but could have been shot through. From A, no one quite close enough to do so. Forest, I would imagine, transitions back down highway at this point as well, because GetRight's also in the A site.
A lot on Rez here. So the gamble adjustment by NIP is to stack A, right? They've lost the man. They've gone, all right, we're not going to contest middle. We're just going to stack A and hope to execute onto us. But unfortunately for them, they are heading over towards the B bomb site. And Rez didn't even get that AWP. He can't get a pick and fall. He's in the site, which means he's going to have to duel. And the rotation from the rest of NIP is a mile away.
Rez trying to buy time with the Molotov. Any second helps because they're on 30 seconds.
Yeah, if they go B, man, I can just see NIP saving. Unless Rez gets multiple kills, it's just going to be a save call.
He knows they're there now, but GetRight and the rest on A are not moving, so he might be onto something, Chad, because this is all onto Rez. All onto Rez in headshot position, and suffers the fate of it in return. It's NBK with the kill. They are going to rotate around to at least CT, but how much further will they go is the real question as Forrest tries to fire into the garage behind the box. No one there to receive it. GetRight does the same and does decent damage to Apex, but I don't think he'll be aware that he did.
The fact of the matter is here, they should hang around for as long as possible and just try and find any exit kills, because the economy right now for G2 is so far in the bin that any kill will help. The issue that I have with this is it could turn into a retake, and they might actually try and sneak a defuse if G2 go for too many frags, and Forrest is going to find one.
Shock's position is key. GetRight is dead. I hate to say it.
Good night, Sweet Prince.
Shock's, yeah, was already on him. Sweet, sweet Prince.
Forrest is between what I would call a rock and a hard place.
Sounds comfortable. If it's slightly damp, you're a bug, an insect. Might be a cozy place. Safe.
From the birds.
And the weather.
All right.
And the humans to trample on you.
Finally getting on the board in this second half. They need to string a few rounds together if they want to break the bank of NIP and build an economy of theirs that can continue and push them through into the later stages. I don't know if we're going to be seeing any of that throwaway aggression coming in from Drake, and again without a teammate or a flash or something along those lines. I see 2 players for NIP playing in the middle, so there's no early aggression, nothing too interesting coming out from G2 early on in the rounds. They're just defaulting, they're waiting for anything that might be thrown at them, spamming through the smokes, calling out utility, just doing the standard stuff. This is what you love to see.
And he's hoping someone would push the smoke in A-main, but no one will. Patience from Exist. GetRight, watching doorway all the way from highway, can also support Draken. Rez not quite in the vents, but playing from checker. And the boost for NBK. Draken can wide peek it. Will he do so? They know he's definitely there now because the smoke goes out. He's actually going to give up the position, rotate it around. Get Right's going to play it with a rifle instead. So back to how they have been doing it in the past.
This is really scary for Get Right.
Oh, are they going to flash exist into A main? They are. He goes around the corner. No one there. But that's misleading because they're still grouped at middle. It may encourage a rotation back toward it. In fact, they're going to concede. They're going to just give it up and play a split. Lots of space to split onto the B site. Thankfully, that's the one that's more fortified by NIP. And Rez is slowing them down, but not finding kills. Gets taken down. That opens up the vent position. And Forrest is stuck in the site. Molotovs will go beyond him. He's almost best not to peek. He's almost best to play this off of existing Get Right. Unfortunately, they are locked out by utility, and he's got to make a play because he's sitting behind the box with nowhere else to hide. Buys himself some space. They wrap in nearly a second shot and a chance for one. But G2's found around. I have to say, I don't picture NIP making a play back into this, especially with Get Right missing that shot and being blinded up.
I don't know what the game plan was there from NIP. Get Right was ready to push heaven. Exist was ready to push lower. The thing was, Forrest was undetected in the back of the site. If they had had a flash and both pushed through heaven and through lower and picked out, and even if they were just bait, that meant that Forrest could sweep out from a very advantageous position and probably find a multi-kill. Well, instead, what they did was let Forrest be the first engager, and as soon as he went down, then they pushed. It just didn't seem like the right string of people picking at the right time. I know the Molotov, I'm sorry, not Molotovs, I know the smokes were up. You never really want to push through those, but when you have a man isolated on the site and you're going to go for the round anyway, you may as well throw everything at it. Yeah. That's what we see Gambit do. They're just throwing literally everything at the attack.
It's 100% guaranteed someone's going to push those choke points, so they're always going to be watching. It wasn't guaranteed that they knew Forrest was there. Headset back on for Smiths. You can talk in this freeze time, remember? Not really saying much because they are rolling again on the G2 side. 2 rounds in a row. It doesn't seem like a lot, but when you look at the context of the game and the fact that they now have a chance to break NIP, and it would be 11-11 when they do so, it's a significant round in so many ways as Draken can't quite get the kill. Legs Kenny instead. He gets tagged to 32 himself.
The fact is, you leg an AWPer, he's still in the round.
Absolutely.
And he can go for a shot at any point. He doesn't need his HP, but Forrest taking Shoxes away. And that's the opening NIP need. They're still in a position to really hurt the economy of G2 here. And theirs is looking like it's on a knife's edge at this point, so anything in their favor for round number 22.
Kenny asks. Oh, still trying to find an opening instead. MBK apparently gets exist. Quick fashion. That's leveled things back out and split the defense again. Apex as well is looking to get a shot up highway from on top of the hut. So elevated position to see exactly, and transitions as well. See exactly what's going on in A. But Draken's in position, nails the shot. Get Right does the same to Kenny, and he's pushed up still. They're gonna re-peek it. He's controlled it. Bomb goes down. NBK just has to sit from squeaky door and hope that the shots will align, but it's the Dragon again. He's fired back in and given another round to NIP.
Good adjustment there from Get Right going with that A main aggression, really able to stop any split that was going to happen. Like I said at the start, this map is a chessboard. Once you lose middle, you have to take A main or you have to take B main. Some part of the map needs to be yours, and Get Right made that decision on his own and shut down the attack swiftly. Could be the last gun round here for either team for a while. Money not looking great across the board. The aggression going towards B again.
They're already there. He was not expecting that at all. He's got to smoke himself off and try and get away. Kenny's ready for it. He'll fire into the smoke. Draken will at least get back in. Just barely. The Molotovs are down. He's still got to run. He's still got to get hidden, and he just barely gets there. Thankfully, that Molotov is about a foot too close for body to peek. That could have been bad news early.
On a positive note for G2 here, they've already grabbed that map control. They should be expecting checkers to be relatively clear. They know the mid vent hasn't been broken, or at least the sound cue should give that away. They're already postured towards B. With the utility they have, with sunroom control, an attack could come in, but there are 3 players from NIP over towards that B bomb site, so they'll be running into the lion's den.
Minutes. They don't have to commit, but they seem like they are stuck on their ways given how much map control they got early, as you mentioned. Draken sits back sight. Nice to play with, and they'll smoke off the choke points again. Forrest this time is not the man that's isolated. In fact, if you include that Rez is beside the AWP player, no one really is.
They just used 3 smokes and didn't attack. There's only 1 left and it's gone in again. The attack has to happen now.
They go. Rez lines them up. Only finds one body. Actually got the team kill. Call it 4-1, but Draken backside already finds another. Swings out. Has lost track of the generator position, and Shox is able to punish them. It's all down to Exist. Nade goes in to try and deny default. Oh, body. He was the one planting. Thankfully, if it was Shox or Kenny, the nade may have been enough. Exist at least will burn body alive. Gives him a chance, an argument in the matter. He's got a kit to work with, and a rotation back from Kenny S. He's going to play the long game on the AWP. This all comes down to Shox's position and read. Exist thinks he's gone underneath. He's not. He's actually playing back behind the box, so they're both waiting for the defuse to go for the last-minute peek. Exist with the kit, has time to peek, goes to the AK instead of the M4. Spots up Shox, one bullet would have done it. Doesn't matter what gun he had. Flashed up, he's got to sit in the open. He's lost track of where he is.
That was great teamwork there. That flash coming in from Kenny allowed Shox to go for that peek and take down Exist, putting the round on the board for G2. Maybe a pause coming in here from NIP. The money situation is enough that they can scrap together a buy. There it is. There's the timeout. They need to talk through this one. This is such a pivotal round right now, Matt. And with GetRight and Draken fragging, well, as Forest as well, those three players are doing a lot of work right now for NIP. You're not going to have the utility that they've so far been using very well. You're not going to get all your mollies. You're definitely not going to have your smokes. Diffuse kits are going to be very sparse. So big decision here. Very big decision. It's either just take a pistol buy, maybe, you know, get a couple of deagles. I guess if you're Forest, you could buy a scout if you really wanted to, and then go into next round with a full gunny. But lots of talking going on from Threat.
Lots of talk, not a lot of time.
There's the buy.
8 seconds in the freeze time is what we have left, and there is the buy.
Put NIP onto Eco, potentially double.
Draken down again. Doesn't spot anyone, but they are there every time.
Already in Sunroom. They're already there. This is so scary.
Oh my goodness!
Ah!
Oh, Rez! He goes down to a bullet, but nearly burned. As they threw in multiple Molotovs, Draken still in position. Kenny's got GetRight. They know he's in the back of the site. How does he control the situation as he waits for the rotation of Forest?
They can fall back. They don't need to commit to this, right? They have the number advantage. They still have enough utility to go back and have an A hit. They don't know it, but they forced out a full rotation. It looks like they will be jumping back as Kenny goes around the corner, and they are worried about a push, which is fair enough because aggression was on the menu from NIP. They're just waiting. So right now, you know that NIP needs to go for information because all they know is, hey, there was an attack on B. We stopped it with that AWP kill, but what's happening now? And they need to go into a play to actually get a little bit more, to play some rotations to actually get themselves into an advantageous position, but that's not what they're opting for. I'm just going to send, I believe it is Exist in the back of the A site. He's just going to sit at quad. So if an attack does come in, he just needs to live, potentially stop the plant, give that information to his team, and allow Forest and Draken to rotate as quickly as humanly possible. But all 4 members of G2 swiftly making their way towards that A bomb site. 30 seconds left on the clock.
Wait for Exist's timing. Forest swings back, but he's isolated by smoke. He's going to try and go above the smoke onto the catwalk silently as well. It's Exist. He waited perfectly in position, and Forest is helped because he's found Shox who went the other side. Excuse me, body. Either way, bomb down, and Exist suddenly has a prime position. A good piece of real estate, good information to find. Kenny needs to do so. Thankfully, he does get him before perishing. That's crucial, but NBK goes aggressive. No time. Draken, he needs to stay alive, and he manages to do so and punish NBK after it.
That was so scary right there in the end. Caught in no man's land between the truck and the wall. Could have gone down to a stray bullet from MBK, but after the time, leaving him with $800 in the bank. Not looking good for G2 here, who are now going to take a timeout in return. I think they have to buy, Matt. I think they have to force into this one. Try and take NIP, because if you can stop their economy this late in the game, you can win it from this point. So G2 needs to come up with a strategy right now that's going to work, that's going to be fast, it's going to be sharp, it's going to allow their players to be activated, because losing a 4-on-3 situation like that is not what you need this late on the second map.
Second map where NIP yesterday were able to accomplish an overtime on Nuke and started to come back in a series by which they had no say in the first map. It's a similar storyline, a parallel this time. However, they have the lead late in cash, and they've got pistols against them only. Play smart, play disciplined. UMP's up to build some cash for NIP. And they need to.
I don't know why they didn't go all in with the buy. You know, there's still a little bit of cash left over on Shox, Apex, and Body. I wanted to see something fast coming out, and there it is. They come out middle. Body's going to trade right there onto GetRight. 4-on-4 situation early.
Rez backside B. A lot of pressure on B from G2. It seems to be the order of business for the day.
If they strike now, he's isolated, but Forest is rotating back in. Molotov's going to push him back to the triple box. Flash is raining in as well, but smoke spam coming through. They're going to find MBK, but Apex onto Res. Bomb site cracked open. It's going to go down, and now we're going to have a 3-on-3 after plant situation.
Draken high in the sky with the AWP. Spread the dragon wings, but won't be able to go far. Smoke blocks off entrance.
Big question,
fast play. Yeah, fast from G2 to get in with not much weaponry, and NIP don't have much money. It's one thing to save a few guns and concede the round. It's another if they all go down. They're going to go for it. Forest still has one to watch. Kenny hits a shot that if he did not, meant 2 would fall. It does mean Exist, however, does get inside of the site. He's getting closer and closer to the bomb, but he needs Draken to babysit and hold off the guard. He's found one, he's got another. He's got all down to just Kenny in a one-on-one, but no time. He's got to back away. Even with the kit, Kenny will fall, which helps their case for money, but it means the round gone. And NIP's not much better off.
Jeez, everyone's got scrappy money right now. G2 actually in the driver's seat. They have more in the bank, and they're going to be able to pull out the better buy in this scenario. Not looking good for NIP here. We've seen miracle plays with pistols all game. It has been a brawl. We did highlight that as a turning point, but this round right there for G2 is huge. This is their chance to turn the game around. This is their chance to close this out and put themselves in the grand final. Another pause. Got to really talk this one through, because if you force buy here and you lose, that's the game. You take the eco, you're going to have a scrappy buy next round regardless. So many question marks right now.
I'll talk this time from Smiths, which we didn't see earlier in the map. People take it on the chin. Try and replicate the success of the lack of weaponry that G2 had in the previous round. Draken single AWP.
There's no right call in this scenario for NIP. This is a nightmare scenario, and Draken, he's going to take it all on his back here. He's gone aggressive Squeaky Door with the AWP on his own. I would love to see Exist in a buddy system with him a little bit closer to pick that up in case he does fall. But discipline being shown by this G2 squad, who aren't opting to go too aggressive. And maybe they heard that scope. Maybe they heard Squeaky Door open, but they're not giving anything away.
Inching closer toward A main, his body. Draken still waiting, has Get Right as well to play the bait. Play off of it. Flashes means AWP is distilled slightly from position. They're going that way. He's going to look back to A main instead. Oh, a shot that he desperately needed, and he needed the other one as well in between, both times. And he's off in time, and Get Right's found. He's a sitting duck. It's all gone. So many opportunities, and he just couldn't find the shots he needed. As Draken will fall, it's down to Rez and Forest P250s. He's close enough to MBK to punish with one. Good first shot, but Apex is in position. A perfect position to take back the ground. And unfortunately for Forest, it will go to 13-13. He's going to try his best, but unfortunately that doesn't amount to much when he has no position or time to work with.
Yeah, you got to look at the money right now for NIP anyway, Matt. You know, 3,700. 3,900, 3K. What do? Do you scrap together a UMP buy? You can probably get one guy with an M4 and Kevlar, no utility really. Or do you take another eco? Do you give up 14 rounds? And it looks like they're going to do that. A couple of pistol upgrades, not a lot. Smoke on Get Right. Here's another opportunity for them to go for an aggressive pistol play, and 3 players pushing up. That could have been a nightmare scenario right there. Over the boost, they trickle as Shock's picking up 2. Apex with a 3rd. This is going to be a quick round.
Very quick if Kenny keeps doing that. Down goes Forest, and this will give up the lead. It'll be 14 rounds G2 and pressure for NIP, as they could bow out in the semi-final. Draken doesn't seem impressed by that thought. Exists still contemplative as always.
This time, that means they really want to think this one through, because this game is on a knife's edge. This game could go either way.
Last time out call for G2, by the way. That's their 4th.
I love how teams are using these, Matt. We've slowly gotten to a point where they're using them so tactically. They're not only using them when they lose rounds to chill out, they're using them to actually consider how the game's going to pan out. They're using them very, very well, and I'm happy to see us getting to that point. think think everyone in the arena, or at least 95% of them, want to see NIP in the grand final.
I think that's an accurate statement. But they've got 3 rounds they need. AWP for Kenny, AWP for Draken. Forrest pushing, smoke down at the garage. Again, it's going to go over toward A this time, so not the fast play at B. Anchoring A solo allows more pressure on mid from NIP, and Forrest is back beside his smoke all the way up beside the garage.
This is normally a no-no. You never want to be by yourself in middle. Sure, he has support from the white box of Get Right and Exist, ready to step out at any point in time, but you can be isolated. The smokes can come in, they can push you off the line, and then you're just hoping you hit your shots, and a lot on Forrest here.
Decent facial expression from Apex. But to the doorway. Back in blinded, fires a shot. Door doesn't open yet. Or does it? MBK has actually opened it to try and get a smoke out, but he's already blinded off himself. Tagged up his Draken as he tries to rotate back and get better lineage toward A main. Another Molotov. It's going to hit him square on the noggin, but Exist gets close because he needs to protect the AWP player by going in aggressively. Another shot through the legs, surely. And Kenny posts up with the op to respond. That could be a problem for Draken not hitting the shot, but thankfully for his sake, Kenny backs off in a 3 versus 3 to split the defense and evaluate elsewhere.
Indecision has been a bit of a menace for G2 in some of these rounds, but it looks like they've made up their mind and they want to go back to the B-bomb side. They want to go into the arms of Rez.
Get Right might have a problem not knowing Shox is behind the box. If he even makes one wrong move or too much noise, Shox punishes. He'll pounce. Is Get Right's wisdom going to allow him to check the corner or not? Remember, there is a shadow position there. If Shox goes out, he'll be seeing the shadow favors. Get Right looks back in time to spot the shoulder as well. Now it's up to Rez to hold off the B site on his own. Behind the boxes, spots them coming in nearly. Misses out onto Kenny, but recovers. Unfortunately, he was overwhelmed in the fact that Body was also there, but Body's run out of time, tries to grab the op. He will stay alive. They don't need to pursue, but it brings us level at 14-14. There is still money on the G2 side.
Shox behind the box. Get Right makes him suffer in his jocks.
I like it. You're getting in there.
And now we see G2 on the back foot here. NIP being able to turn that round around. You spin me right round, baby. This is probably going to be the last full gun round we've got in this game, unless we're heading to overtime and that 16K situation on the cards. But
it's funny you mentioned that song that popped up on my browser last night. I don't know why.
Isn't that Kylie Minogue?
Say maybe.
She's Australian. Anyway, that round was the indecision I was talking about from G2. They should really just go with their gut. It looks like they're overthinking or over-talking situations and they're not going as a team. When you're in those situations, the 3v3 on the T side, you go together, you have the number advantage, you can trade out efficiently. When you're running in on a 2-on-1, you're giving them a chance back in. I just want to see them next time they find themselves in that situation, going together, making a quick call and not messing about.
Okay, you ready? Get Right. Very careful. Molotov to the box, or excuse me, to the sandbags from Kenny should reveal to Get Right that someone is on the boost and had thrown that. Can't imagine he'll overpeak the position at this point in time. He's been very disciplined. Get Right using the rifle inside of that position. At connector, a flash through the smoke.
I think it was a team flash as well that pushed him off.
Yeah, exactly, because he was considering it, I think.
We've seen this B split work before, but Forrest actually being at drip, very deep. Pounce at any time if an attack does come on. Body, does he know anything's up? As he will try and check his control himself. A duel is about to ensue. Forrest picking out, catching Body, looking the wrong way. Number advantage for NIP.
Very different angle again for Draken to play inside of the site. AWP at Forklift. He's missed a few shots, I have to say, crucial shots on the A side of the map. He's ready this time. Finds Kenny and turns around, and by his behest, he'll unleash the Dragon's Breath. Down go 2 from G2, but MBK is still trying to work inside of the site. There's nowhere for him to go, and it's math point for NIP.
This game has been tight the whole way through, back and forth. Finally finding themselves on match point, like you say, Matt. Money not that bad for G2. Kenny can get this off, but it hasn't been hugely effective. Even though he is top fragging, it's not like they're cracking open bomb sites with it. And even with when they do, it's the bad decisions, the poor mid-round calls that are costing them rounds. We aren't seeing the op getting picked up. We've got 3 AKs, a Deagle, and a CZ. And they're not opting for that B site, Matt. This is where we did see weakness from NIP, and they're still just heading in that default spread. And I think NIP at this point in the game, they don't need to make any aggressive plays. We've seen them holding strong. We've seen them stopping these attacks. And they're opting to go for that again.
Forrest Forrest already in middle will push back. As always, Get Right sitting in position, this time with an AK. Not just the M4, 2 pistols, G2. I know that sounds like a great situation for NIP, but they've struggled against them, and we know G2 is very capable. Taking advantage of situations such as these. 1 round to go, and we get a 3rd map. Draken rotates back up. 3rd map of Nuke, by the way, if NIP fans. As NIP fans, I'm sure they'll love that. G2's clever on it, but NIP have proven to be their old Stableworth. Shox with a flash toward A. Taken this time, cannot hit the shot toward the door, but knows MBK's there, so Molotov to hold him at bay.
The nerves have to be there for G2 right now. They're probably feeling they've felt this one slip through their fingers. When they get those full guns going with attacks on, it's just a pounce on the B side. They're pushing straight in. Rez caught off guard.
How does he stay alive? If he had found a kill there, he'd done way more than he was worth considering the damage. Overtime might be on the cards again. It's the 2 pistols and rifles and the fast play. Good shot from Get Right, but it's only worth 1. Better entrance from Exist. That gives NIP footing and a better footing as Draken again on the AWP, but it's down to just T remaining and he's just sitting in the open as MBK rotates around. We are not done. Additional rounds needed again for NIP to get a second, or their first, but in the 2nd map of a series.
Jesus, Joseph, and Mary, Matthew. I got another one in there. I got the Matthew in there as well.
That's good. That was all Bible. Yeah, biblical references.
NIP are going to be happy they got the 16K going in their favor. Will they pick up a second orb? Will they put it on Forrest? Because this game, there has been so many situations, so many rounds where the team with the lower economy, with the worse off buy, have been able to come through as victors. Both teams are going to be shaking their head because they have had points where they could have just won the game. They could have just crushed the economy, taken them out, and pushed ourselves to potentially a 2-0 or a 2-1, going over to that 3rd. We're not going to see the double orb, but we are going to see a full buy from both squads. This 16K allows us to see full gun rounds. This is where we can see if G2 have any set strats they want to run, anything that they didn't have enough money to do before. But it is just going to be the default spread. Once more, Kenny heading over towards Squeaky with that orb. He might go for a Draken-type play. And there isn't any aggression coming out from the likes of NIP. This is where you need to actually see them happy to go with it, happy to actually take those risks, have some config-level balls.
With more brains.
Well, overtime's the place to show it, if anywhere, right? This
true.
is where we get, once you start making it, it's just about the individual plays.
Not to make a dig at config, it was just that knife was so risky. I know what you're referencing. Forrest gets reverse drop. Opposite side of where he has been playing inside of middle, if that's anything to catch off G2 with.
It's like they just do a dance at the start of the round. You know, bit of back and forth, a couple of bullets exchanged, nades thrown left and right. And now we're going to get into the thick of it as we tick sub 1 minute. Forrest is going to be in a position of action right now. Molotov's come in to flush him out of position, but he is just under the boost. Will they expect him here? Will they check?
Shox checks the cubby, but not this position. This could be huge. For Forrest, Shox goes down shoulder peek. He knows he's there. He's shot and he's sitting in the open. He needs to kill now. He needs to kill right now because he'll be pushed out from the main garage from Kenny. Exactly that. And Kenny had to be careful of when he did that because Get Right was also watching from the white box, but unfortunately, as he was revealed, Forrest had nowhere to go. And where to go for G2? Well, B again. Rez.
20 seconds.
Molotovs them off. That'll buy some time. They've got to go through it. Apex takes a fraction of damage as he works around toward Checker instead with Bomb, but traded immediately. Body's opened up the site and Get Right is smoked off. It should be a plant at the very least. Or will it? Oh, that is close. 7 seconds, excuse me. I can't. Our TV is aspect ratio. It looked like it was on 6 seconds, not 8 when I saw that, so I was a little worried.
That was real close regardless. If Get Right pushed and taken down the bomber, that was no chance the plant was going down. Kenny's going to find Exist, peeking from heaven. 2-on-4 situation. As the CTs have 16K, they should go for this. Get Right finding Kenny.
Apex gets Get Right immediately back. Those was always the trades for G2. Not tradable this time. Draken works his way forward. Has the kit to work with. Already wrapping the corner. Checks it immediately! Oh! He's got the shot on Body. He knows exactly where the last player is. No smoke to conceal the fact that he wants to go for a full defuse, and MBK's going to peek it anyway. AWP ready. Misses the shot, and MBK will pull it back. What an effort from Draken, but the round G2, 16-15.
Definitely worth going for, you know, with that kind of money. It's every round you can go for. Every round is exciting. You get that time and time again. A buy coming out. Once more, up in the hands of Draken again. Still only opting for one. Forrest not going for that secondary AWP. See what kind of attack they come in with here. I want to see some aggression. I want to see NIP take a risk because this default spread from G2, you can definitely pick someone off. There is you can find a break in the chain. Oh, that's an interesting little spam battle there on top of the red box.
Yeah, that's one that's been fixed, by the way. Remember that?
Body spam, yeah.
Well, body spam, yeah, but it was due to a glitch in the first detection of bullet, and it was basically allowing too much damage to go through that wall. Yeah, that's true. I forgot all about the body bang. We would have seen that a million times in this game if they hadn't patched that.
Mo did one yesterday that was from T-Spawn. I think he did like 40 damage or something. Am I thinking of Mo? Maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
There is another one you can do. You line up with the back fence and fire through both garages, and it goes down basically beside the hut and into connector.
So we've identified that B appears to be either a little weak spot for NIP or somewhere where G2 are more comfortable taking at this point. And the adjustment that's been made is Forest and Rez both playing over towards that part of the map. Forest actually wasn't the vent. He's just been Molotov'd out of position. So both in checkers right now. G2 are happy to run the clock down. Online during Pro League, we saw them lose a lot of rounds because they ran the clock down too far. Hasn't been the case here. They've managed to get the bomb down in enough time, round and round again. But we're down to 30 seconds and not even close to a bomb site as Apex finally opening up. Rez going to trade out one onto Body, and now they have to make a decision. They have to pick a bomb site. That bomb is still in limbo right now.
Good shot, Apex, as he divides all the way through middle. Draken is fast to go back and find Kenny. He's got problems, though, because they're heading toward truck. He doesn't exactly know where to go right now. You can see the hesitation as he tries to find space, but he finds it effectively, taking down MBK. Forrest will apply pressure by getting Apex. That's the flank. And Draken is stepping up in overtime, as this time he will win the round with 3 kills.
How is he such a menace in those situations? Just playing around the smokes, maybe puffing his own.
Puff the Magic Dragon.
Getting enough kills to secure NIP that round. You know, when Apex breaks it open like that, if that was early round or if we had 50 seconds left on the clock, things could spiral out of control. But because you're rushed into the situation, because G2 are forced to make a decision, you know where they're coming from, you know what their decision is, and Draken's right place, right time, grabbing the frags. Rez sneaking across, actually, getting to that aggressive position. They know he's there. They have to assume something's up, and they've actually moved the AWP over to this side of the map, expecting a B attack. Rez in this more forward position, finding one. Another opening early for NIP.
One-man advantage to take a 1-round lead.
Crowd loves it.
Naturally expected. Rez, give them something more to cheer about as he takes down Shocks. Flash toward Apex. Bomb is still inside of the big garage. Kenny, meanwhile, is peeking toward A. Apex getting Forrest from the mid position on Bomb. Is actually going to head back over toward B. They're hoping that MBK can cause rotations, and a little bit of utility will pull a rotation. It has gotten Get Right closer.
Apex with another one, 3-on-3 situation.
That's Rez getting aggressive, trying to push back out to get information. He doesn't necessarily need to do so. MBK in with a flash.
He's on the site already.
They've pushed NIP all the way off it. Exists, good shot to Apex, drops bomb temporarily. Kenny immediately on the trade, throws bomb across. He's going to keep the AWP in position, but what he doesn't realize, or does he, is that Get Right is against the wall, just sees enough of a foot to fire, and it's Draken again that has to step up for NIP. His 3rd straight round in overtime, he has to do so. He's 1 for 1 in success so far. Bomb planted wide, he knows that means A-main is a factor. MBK is in a perfect position as well to jump over top of the red crate, and Kenny is going to get it beforehand. It's G2 with the 1-round lead as we swap halves.
That post plant was played really well. Obviously, there was the fear of the player pushing into the bomb site, stopping the plant there, but Kenny with the 6th sense, able to pick that up. That was really big. Nathan MBK playing on the little box, ready to jump up on red, looking towards forklift push was really cool. He could also cover off A main as Kenny played in the lockers, so really smart post plant play by these two. That's the synergy you want to see, especially when the pressure's on that right now, and Shocks barking orders, getting the boys ready. What are we going to see come out from their CT side? I would love something just completely out of the box here. Just catch NIP off guard. Let's go 3 aggressive B with rifles. Let's do something you know they're not going to expect, because at this point in time, the pressure is on NIP. The double AWPs again, and this is where they did find success. This is where MBK was able to pick up a round or 2, show that he has a bit of prowess as that secondary AWP, but can use it a bit like a utility player, and the mid-Molotov coming in will slow Draken's attack down over the boost. Like you mentioned, Matt, he wasn't playing the boost too much, but now he's opting for it early.
It's the one time he wants to use it that they Molotov it again. Trying to position as well. Shock's getting a lot closer in mid. We'll go back inside of the vent because it was already blown out for him. Not Gonna drop out of it. Get right, meanwhile. Already in B. Smoke gone. They have no idea he's that close. Shox could bust the vent behind him and try and take it back. He's still inside of the small pit. This will bring in the rest of NIP. They have to be cautious. They don't know Shox is there, and their backs are turned. He could be a problem if the timing is right. Timing should be a now. NBK, he's caused distracting. Shox is gone. They've not heard the vent because of it with the AWP firing, but Exist is at the ready. And it's all down to Kenny S, who is smoked off. AWP has no clean access. Bomb's not planted. NIP is going to slow things just to be sure. They're not caught off by Kenny's op. Toss toward the default. Lots of time to figure this out and get the bomb in position. So smart and slow pace from NIP. Kenny, he'll fancy it. No reason not to in the MR16, or MR316K, excuse me, overtime. That's a bit desperate.
It works.
Works, but hard to...
It doesn't look like it should, but it does. I think, you know, you don't expect Shox to not whiff, but you expect him to at least convert one of those frags, and could have put Kenny in a 1-on-3. Still not very likely to win, but he's going for this attack. Takes down Drake, and Get Right will finish him off. 17 pieces of each here.
Balls from Get Right as well to just walk into the B site.
These are the risky plays you have to make in overtime. When nothing else works, you've just got to hope that your players can step up, hope that they can give the in-game leader and the coach a couple of plays that they've been working on, or, you know, they feel the game. Your players are the ones who have been taking on these situations time and time again, but you talk about Get Right and Draken, or Draken. They're the boys at the top of the scoreboard, 30-plus frags each, doing a lot of work for NIP right now, and they want to go for that B main control again. Smoke comes out, Molotov to follow, Apex push behind Drip by himself. BK in the site to assist, and one player moving over and Shox the vent. This is a 3-man pronged attack for, I suppose, defense towards the B side. Default spread again. So that time and time again.
Bomb dropped in the default toward A main, and they are slowly grouping in that position as Body stays behind the forklift. And Kenny with op number 2, op number 1, I guess, if we're going to give him his primary position. Sits at the ready. Get Right, as always, will wait toward B. Unfortunately, can't find 1 of 3 kills, and they know he's alone. They've already immediately fallen back for the rotation. It's a long way to go, and IP should have capitalized the opportunity and gone, because it was only 2 in the site. They are going to start to move the G2 players around, but not enough movement toward Kenny, as he finds 1 shot, a lag on Forest. He's tagged down by Apex, and we're getting closer to map point for G2 in overtime. They've got it now 18-17.
I don't want to get on Body too much, but he's made a few dumb decisions. Like, he must have known mid was open. He had 3 players towards that B bomb site when they went for that aggression, and then he's still taking a pick from forklift and then jumping back, assuming no one's highway, going down to Forest. That could have spiraled out of control just because he wasn't thinking. They do convert the round, so it can't be too harsh. Kenny stepping up with the AWP, but that aggressive move towards B mid-round, that's what you want to see. That's the on-the-fly calling that we need coming out from these guys, taking advantage of a tendency that Get Right has. And early NIP look like they're heading towards B. 3 players posturing over that side of the map, bomb in hand. Nade damage, chip damage coming out from G2. MBK's been a bit of a hero with this AWP. He's actually done a lot of impact frags. You know, he's not towards the top of the scoreboard, but he's done a lot with it.
Get Right has to be very careful. He crosses. MBK's in the open. He misses the shot. Doesn't even get a 1-for-1 because of it, because Apex is perfectly positioned. Forrest can do nothing of it. He's late to the vent, but he has mid to work with if they want to go back toward A. Problem is, Kenny is staring in that direction, a man down.
The AWP from Drake can open up that avenue of middle, but quickly traded by Kenny, and now number advantage definitely in the favor of G2. HP for MBK not looking fantastic, but he has the AWP, so it's not a huge factor here, and it has to be an A attack. 50 seconds left on the clock. It looks like they're just waiting for any aggression, any G2 players who are going to take that risk and push and play for info, but it's not going to happen. They're rooted in position.
A tall order as well to take A, because literally speaking of height, Body is high above them.
That's key. That's almost a round-winning boost in this scenario, unless Rez is going to check. He can get in front of the box, and he can peek the feet of Body here. He hasn't checked it. He's in the right position.
Timing. Kenny shuffles out. Body on the box.
There's no time, Matt. There's no time.
There's very little time. Enough time that they can spray them down. Good response from Draken, but it's too late. Bomb's on the deck. Bomb is on the deck with 8 seconds. It's done. It's already over. G2 are going to the finals 2-0 against NIP. in Malmö, defending champions, unable to succeed this time against their French counterpart.
Well,